created with the police jury. Than a former police jury. First thing I plan to do here is start a summit committee. I'm going to start a summit committee with all the leaders that are in this parish. It's going to consist of the mayor, all the mayors. It's going to consist of the president of the school board. It's going to consist of the president of the police jury, the sheriff, the assessor, all the stakeholders in the community. And I'm going to urge that committee to meet once every quarter, so we can make sure we're heading in the right direction for the people that live in the city of New Road and for the people that live in the parish of Pointy-Peak.
That was the final prepared question for Mr. Dukes. All right, everyone, at this time we're going to read some of the questions that have been gathered from you here in the audience tonight. Mr. Richard Macy is going to assist me with that. He's gone through the questions and he will direct them to the appropriate candidate. Thank you.
Thank you, Timmy. Some of these questions are redundant. They've covered a lot of the area that these questions are delving into. So I'm going to try to go through them and select ones that I think are haven't been covered. Mr. Dukes, first question here. What will be your first plan of action if you become mayor?
Just like I said earlier, I didn't get your name. Will you repeat?
Richard Mason.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Mason, and thanks for the question. The first thing I plan to do is put a cap on the transfers that we can transfer from these different funds. Just give you an example. 2010, out of the water fund, we were transferring $50,000. Once this administration took over, they had a transfer for $536,000. We're going to transfer ourselves out of business if we don't put a cap on.
Another question for you. You say it is time for a change. What changes are you planning on implementing?
Just like I stated earlier. First of all, I don't believe in temporary workers. We have enough local people here with enough talent here that we can put people working full-time jobs. Temp service is not going to work with me. We have residents here who send their kids to college in hopes that they can get a good job, a good full-time job, not a temp job. Let me give you an example, Mr. Mason. We have a company that they hired out of Los Angeles, paid, and anything I talk about here tonight is information that has been provided to me from City Hall. This is not me giving you this information. They paid a temp service company out of Los Angeles $6,000 for 1 week's work. We cannot afford this here. It needs to stop, and I'll stop it.
Mr. DeQuilton, what is your platform? What programs do you plan on implementing in the city to help on our economic development and education?
Well, education, we need to work with the school board. I know it's not the mayor's job to work with the school board, but if you reach out to the school board, they'll take the help. Economic development, it sounds like the economic development is just going through the roof. We don't need nothing done with that. But it sounds like everything's great. Everybody loves economic development. We got million stores, but for every, I think the mayor said we opened 26 stores, but you could name about 15 or 16 stores that's closed. Rotolo's, Stevie Ray's Pizza, the little gun shop, the little yogurt shop, you could go on for days. But you need to work with these people in order to sustain the business. It's not good enough just to open a business. If a business doesn't grow and sustain, there's no use in just saying, well, I opened up 10 businesses.
How would you describe your management style as it would relate to managing the business of the city?
I would get everybody's input. I would get the sheriff's input, the police jury's input, and more importantly, the community's input. I'm not going to pass a tax without asking people, do you want this? Is this what's best for New Roads? We have to unify this community. It's people, There's a lot of things I want to say that I'm not going to say. But if we're not unified, we can't do anything. We're going to stay stagnant. We're going to just divide more. We have to include everybody in this parish, everybody in this town, to come together, regardless how you feel about them personally. You come to the table and you reach an agreement that's best for the people of New Roads.
Mayor.
Me?
Yes, you.
Love to get up.
Okay. What projects are you currently working on that would extend into your next term, and what will it bring to the city?
Okay. I'm gonna talk about that after I explain what a transfer is. Okay. When you collect your money, when you collect money, whether you collect it from a property tax, from a sales tax, from an electric rate, from a water rate, or whatever, in order to spend the money, you transfer it to the general fund to spend the money. Kind of like you have a savings account at home. You put your money in savings. When you're ready to spend it, you spend it. Or if you borrow it, sometimes you borrow. Now I got to tell you, you can look outside and see and say, well, you know what? There's some clouds in the sky. There's some sun out there. A pessimist says it's partly cloudy. An optimist says it's partly sunny. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the future's so bright in New Roads, you gotta wear shades. I want to tell you, I'm not concerned about saying, I don't get along with everybody. Like I said, we can keep on saying, because I get along with the sheriff, I get along with the assessor, get along with the clerk of court, I get along with my counsel, get along with half the police jury. I will not get along with a police jury that puts a $2.50 drainage impact fee on its citizens. A fee is a tax. It's the same, there's 3 letters but spelled a different way. It's a tax. Okay? I can request public documents also. I got a public document here that says the police jury's already collected nearly $400,000 off the drainage impact fee. Where have they spent the money? Okay? Okay? They've raised the fees. Mr. Dukes talked about being on the recreation committee. Now your kids got to pay $3 to go in the ball game instead of $1 to go in the ball game, and they took away the portion of the recreation tax that citizens in New Roads pay, but we don't get any benefit of because they took it. Okay, we used to have that to offset the fees of running the civic center. Okay, they refused to give. They raised permit fees. Okay. When they saw all these new businesses coming, the police jury raised the permit fees. Got in a big fight about it when they decided to give one guy a break and not somebody else a break. Okay? So here's the deal. What we're going to continue to do going forward. Okay? We're going to continue to develop our infrastructure because our infrastructure is important. We have to invest in doing the right thing. On one hand, you can't say, ooh, Walmart was coming since 2005, and then call them millionaire and say you don't want them. You can't do that. You got to be straight with people. I think the people in New Roads are more intelligent than to believe all this ranting and raving are not about fact and facts and the truth of what's going on.
Got one more for you. This is not necessarily dealing with the city, but it's a question that involves people. Retired teachers, etc., and others need to work within the community. Will we have jobs available for the retired?
Well, we started a program this summer. When I took office, we had Mayor Mayoral has started a very, very nice program called the Mayor's Summer Youth Program. They hired an average of 15 kids through the existence of that program until my administration got here. I asked the council to appropriate money, which they did, and last year we hired 40 kids. We've allowed 40 kids to interview for a job, learn how to go to work. and make a difference in this community. We also implemented this year a senior citizen program, where we were able to hire 18 senior citizens, one of which got a job because she worked as with the school board and got a job permanently with the school board. So I think we get along with the school board. So I think we do. I think we even provide temporary workers to the parish. So we get along. Let me tell you, and I go back to the previous question about going forward. We're expanding our hospital system here. The reason we can do that is because I've always said, if you create enough jobs, and eventually enough jobs with benefits, that doctors will want to locate here. And once again, I'm going to take you back to what happened at 9 o'clock this morning. We did a groundbreaking for the hospital. What's happening right now is 100 people in line to sign up for welding classes from a deal that the city of New Roads did with Baton Rouge Community College. We're bringing jobs here. We're bringing real opportunity to people. We're going to continue to do that. The next thing that we truly need, and I've talked to Mr. Wester today, the CEO of Our Lady of the Lake Hospital. And I told him this. Wish it was recorded. Maybe Mr. Dukes was close, he might have recorded it for me. But I told Mr. Wester, you have all these after-hour clinics in Baton Rouge that you operate, Lake After Hours, you see them every corner, they got them more than McDonald's, okay? And I asked him, I said, we need an after-hour urgent clinic in the city of New Roads. We cannot afford to keep going to the emergency room all the time to do business. So that is our number one priority going into it, along with the development of the evacuation route between King Subdivision and Curette, which we've got all the signatures. We've implemented, the city council has given me the money to do so, even though the police jury, and I have the letter here, I can read it to you, wrote and said, we will no longer give you the $250,000 that we promised you to build that road, okay? That money belongs to the people of New Roads, not to the police jury, to continue to say, we didn't raise taxes, but we raised 6 different fees on you in the last 5 years. Thank you.
I've already asked him. Yeah, someone's.
At this time, we're going to let our candidates each have a closing statement. We're getting close to the 1 hour mark, and we still have some of the city council candidates we'd like to hear from very briefly. So at this point, we'll go through the same order and let each of our candidates make a closing statement.
Thank y'all again for coming tonight. I know it's getting a little late, but if I'm elected mayor, it would be 100% transparency. Everybody will know every dime that is spent in this office. Everybody, if you call me, I will answer the phone. If you stop by the office, I will be in the office. If I'm not, I will return your call. You don't have to come to City Hall, I will come to you. Y'all do not work for me. If I'm elected, I work for y'all. No matter where you live, no matter what you need, I will always be there. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much for allowing me to be your mayor. Sometimes I'm quiet, sometimes I'm a fighter. But I do fight for the citizens of New Roads. I don't care if people talk bad about me or talk bad and disparage anything, but when they talk about you, that's when I get mad, and that's when I fight. When they raise taxes on you, that's when I fight. When companies that sold us the bogus meter reading project, and when I decided to not pay them the final $92,000 of the bill, which would have paid them several, I was saddled with this from the previous administration. We said we weren't going to pay them. This company, big company, decided they were going to sue us in federal court in New Orleans. Well, and they said we're going to sue us to pay them. $2,000. And I'll show you right now, these two checks, one for $250,000 and one for $200,000, that after I got telling them the truth about themselves and what they sold us, they settled with us for $450,000. Because sometimes you have to fight. Sometimes you have to fight. And I'm sorry, you know, I don't believe that the police jury should have doubled the property tax in the city of New Roads without going to the people. Cornell's right. You know, you should ask the people about that. He didn't. Thank you very much.
Wrap up. Thank you. Mr. Dukes.
Once again, thank you. I don't have time for games here, people. I do not have time for the game. We got a mayor saying we got money. We got a council member saying they got $1 million in the bank. We got a mayor saying they got $3 million in the bank. Now, I don't know who they think we're going to believe here, but I'm going to believe the auditor. And I'm here to save this community. If you don't believe in something, why would you borrow money to pay it off? The same company he's talking about that give him a check, he paid them off through the money he mortgaged on us. So if you didn't believe in it, why'd you pay it? Don't create a fight with our money. Stop the fight before it occurs. I'll say this. I will never, ever borrow against this community unless it's an event of a natural disaster. We have to figure out how we're going to pay this $7 million worth of debt off in the next 14 years. We can't even pay for the first road the city has built, and they're talking about building more on us. We have to shut this down. It is time for a change. The citizens of New Roads here should not have to bear these expenditures, and they know what's involved in the process. If someone would have asked you, do you want to take your utility fund money and build roads for multi-millionaires, I believe that the majority of the people that reside here would have said no. But you have never been given the opportunity to been asked that question. Now that's not only doubling the tax on you, that's misusing city funds. Because they have no sales tax or no revenue to create and pay for these roads besides your utilities.
I'm not going to take that.
If this is a debate, it needs to be.
Hold up, T. No, T. He said.
2 minutes are up.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you.
But he
all very
talked about
much.
me, so I want to get this stuff straight.
All right. I want to thank. I think they've all had their time to chant. They've all had their opportunity. I think we've held a fair and open event here tonight. Thank you all, gentlemen, very much for your cooperation. All right. Before you go, we have 3 city council challengers that would like to come up. I'm giving them 1 minute each to say a quick word. I think Ms. Joy Nelson. We'll take Ms. Joy first. Thank you.